Big Z Reviews. Fate, the Winx Saga, is a new Netflix series, and it's honestly just a generic magical young adult school that is thrown together with the Winx name that I don't know if anyone will actually like.
Do you know why the barrier exists?
To protect the school from burned ones.
Be thankful you've never seen a burnt one.
They're after me.
So I have no really idea what the Winx Club is. Like, the most I know about it is just Jenny Nicholson talking about it on Twitter. But I can't imagine that if you're a fan of the original I think it's a cartoon. I think it might have a doll line too. But if you're a fan of that, I can't see if you'd be a fan of this. Like, I think that if you're a fan, you could be really annoyed by this show. But I think that, like, I think it's more for just a general fan of the young adult magic school, the kind of dark kind of drama, you know. I think that's who it's for. But I think that the weirdest thing is just that there's so little world building in here. I mean, like, it's basically Harry Potter light. You know, except that they're fairies, but none of them have wings because it'd be too expensive and to have all the characters have wings. And there's very little schooling. That's the thing. That's like, you know, when you deal with in any sort of fantastical story, you know, book, movie, TV show, you have to, if you have a world that's not our own, you have to do world building to explain this world to the viewers or the readers. And I mean, they have the perfect setup for that. Abigail Cohen as Bloom, and she's like this changeling fairy that was raised by human parents, and that she's like a fire fairy, almost burns her house down and killed her parents, but now she's going to the fairy school, and like she is the entry character for the viewer. But they don't use her. The whole point in having a character like that, you know, there's a reason that trope is so overused. It's because it fucking works. I mean, like in like more epic fantasies, it's generally like the farm boy that is destined to become the chosen one to save the world, you know, and in things like Harry Potter, they have like a character from our world going into this other magical world. And that the whole idea and why it's overused and why it still works is that it gives the viewer or the reader an entry into this world. Like, instead of just having random exposition dumps, you can have people kind of explaining to this character in the world, but it's also explaining it to the viewer, the reader. But they don't really do it. It's so funny, like. And two, I find it very weird because they make it a point that there's this fairy other world, and then there's, you know, the real world, and this Abigail or Bloom, she was in the real world her whole life. She didn't know about the existence of fairies until now. But like, there's this Hogwarts-like school. It has just no personality. And it's just like the idea that there are these fairies, and then there are these specialists. But it's not very clear, are the specialists also fairies? Or are they just that, like, they don't have magic, and like they're there to help protect the fairies that do have magic? And there's the whole thing where there's like a barrier around the school because there are these burned ones that just, the CGI for them is not good. And it's like, but they don't explain anything about them. Like, they do a little bit at the end, but it's like, you have no reference for anything that's going on. And too, what I find really funny is that because to make it modern and to make it look like, you know, feel normal to other teenagers watching it, they all have cell phones. And it's like, so wait, so there is cell coverage in this other world. They have satellites, or they're able to text each other. Like, they're not magical phones, they're not fairy phones. They're literally just the same smartphones that we have, and it's like, huh, interesting choice. But the school is full of beautiful students, and they have one token fat person in the group, uh, and it's like, I assume that these characters are all of that from the main original show or whatever. But I mean, there's none of them are really stand out. Like, I mean, they're okay. They have like the Abigail Cohen as the main character, Bloom, and she's a fire fairy. You have Hannah as Stella. She was like the light fairy. And you have Precious as Aisha, and she's like a water fairy. You have Elliot as Terra and Nurse Fairy, and you have Alicia as Musa, which is like a mind fairy, and you have the hot guy Danny Griffin as Sky, and you have the evil woman Sadie as Beatrix, and it's like you have some other hot people that going on, and it's just like there's I don't know, like it's not horrible. Like, I didn't hate the show. Like, I mean, I have a soft spot for magical schools. I grew up with that. I've read a lot of stuff. I enjoy them. But I just wish there was more schooling. Even if, like, they have, like, a couple of classes, but all of the magic things they have to do is, like, magic is powered by your emotions. Use your emotion to power your magic. Just do it. And it's like, but, like, it's very hand-wavy. There's no or the exploration into like how magic works, or how this world works, or what's going on. And two, it's so annoying that like the main character Bloom, like she's like becomes obsessed about like her birth parents, and it's like it doesn't really make that much sense, because it's not like I mean she it'd almost be better, I think, if her parents were dead, her adopted parents, like if she actually did kill him in a fire. And it's because there's just some odd stuff with that. And like, and the evil person is so evil, and it's like, huh, Jesus. And then Bloom has to like fall for stuff, and like to unleash this evil person that they had locked up, and that they're like, but like all the teachers don't tell him anything, so like, but we didn't know it was evil. We were just, like, you didn't talk to us. And the weird thing is too, it's only 6 episodes. So, like, I feel like they could have made an 8-episode series and actually put in more character development, more world building, and actually explaining what the hell this world is, this fairy world. It feels like they dropped the ball on the storytelling, on the writing. And I mean, all the actresses and actors are fine. They're all beautiful people, and it's nice to watch beautiful people on the screen. And it's not horrible, but I can imagine that if you're a big fan of Winx, you may not like this. But then I don't really know, but I'm not a fan, so I can't say for sure. But if you're a fan of darkish young adult magic TV shows, you may like this. Like, I didn't hate it. I probably give it like a 6.75 out of 10. So thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe below if you want to see more of these reviews. And maybe I'll see you next time. Thanks.